Hey everybody, Will Davis with the Monroe County Reporter. Here is the top story in this week's newspaper. Monroe County deputies having to deploy drones, dogs, and even a Georgia State Patrol helicopter after reports of a kidnapping up on Talladega Trail in northern Monroe County. When they were done, the suspect, Jerry Davenport, was arrested and charged with kidnapping and other charges related to his treatment of his girlfriend, Amy Worthy of Griffin. And it started around 6:30 Sunday night when deputies were called to the scene of a reported kidnapping, reported by neighbors and witnesses who saw him dragging Miss Worthy through the woods. Apparently, they feel that he dragged her almost a mile walking through the woods before they came out in the Mayfield Road area. Finally, an anonymous tip to the sheriff's office led them to their location on Mayfield Road, and they arrested Mr. Davenport. Miss Worthy thanked deputies for their diligence in the kidnapping and rescue of her. See more details in this week's Reporter.
Hey Monroe County, whether you need garage floors, basements, pool decks, or driveway patios, Concrete Coatings are the ones to call. Commercial or residential, they offer a 5-year warranty. Free estimates, call today. Concrete Coatings, serving all of Middle Georgia.
Hi, I'm Donna Wilson with this week's Monroe County Reporter Incident of the Week. A report of a woman being pushed or fallen out of a truck sent officers David Asbell and Arthur Musselman to the intersection of Kimball Street and East Main Street on May the 28th around 8:28 a.m. A male witness told the officers he saw a truck turn and a woman rolled out of the passenger side. 2 other witnesses told Asbell they didn't see the incident, but they heard the victim say that she was pushed out by her husband. The woman, who refused medical treatment from EMS, said she had been arguing with her husband and she opened the door and stepped out when the truck stopped at the sign and had just started to turn. Her husband had a suspended license and was taken to jail while his wife drove away in his truck. See more on 6C.
A Covington man faces DUI charges after overturning his vehicle while avoiding a head-on collision on Highway 87 last Thursday. His name is Mitchell Knopp, 29 years old. He told deputies he was on his way back from Tybee Island, where he'd been vacationing, back home to Covington, when a witness said that he was coming right at her head-on when he dodged and swerved at the last minute, gripping the wheel and turning into the ditch, overturning his vehicle on the shoulder of 87 right near its intersection with Bowden Road. Cynthia Stamatis of Gray said she narrowly avoided the head-on collision as Mr. Knopp went plunging into the shoulder. He was charged with DUI after deputies found a bottle of Smirnoff vodka. Smirnoff vodka had come out of the car during the flipping, and also noticed that Mr. Stopp was acting very strange and odd during the post-wreck investigation. Find out more details in this week's Reporter.
Meet all your glass needs right here in Monroe County. Glass Technologies, located at 8499 Rivoli Road in Bolingbrook, offers in-house glass cutting, custom glass shower enclosures, residential and commercial glass replacement, and sunroofs. They specialize in residential services and provide free estimates on all their work, no matter how big or small. Give them a call, 478-993-2101, or find them on Facebook.
Hey y'all, it's Tammy Raffers-Eater in this week's Everyday Hero. Every day is different for this week's Everyday Hero, Keith Harbuck, a handyman of Monroe County. A man of many hats, Keith says, I never know what I might get into when I knock on someone's door. He has been in business for himself for 22 years, going from home to home, fixing a faucet here, hanging a ceiling fan there. He began his career after graduating from Monroe Academy in 1983, working with his father, who was a local general contractor. He spent his days working with plumbers and electricians and learning all of their tricks of their trades. He says the only negative thing about his job can be the heat and the occasional snake staring him in the face when he goes under a crawl space. Keith was born in Forsyth to Hiram and Rosalind Harbuck, and is the grandson of Henry and Annie Will Harbuck. His family has roots in Monroe County that goes back at least 3 generations. He also owns the Magic Touch Car Wash, which was once owned by 4 partners, including his dad, but the partnership dissolved after his father passed away. Keith became the sole owner. Keith lives with his wife Karen in the same house where his father and uncle were born, on Old Zebulon Road. They raised 4 children, Seth, Nick, Hannah, and Noah, and have 4 grandchildren. Keith was also nominated for Monroe County's Father of the Year in 2022. Not everyone is college material, said Keith. He says young people should get out, find yourself a trade, and go to work. The work is out there. You have just got to get out and do it. So get up and go do it.
Forsyth's busiest street, Lee Street, will soon have a new pedestrian crosswalk right there at Castleberry Drug. The DOT began work on Monday on the pedestrian crosswalk, a unique feature which will include a rectangular solar-powered beacon that will alert drivers to stop whenever a pedestrian presses the button to cross there at the crosswalk. The City Council had approved this project 2 years ago. Mayor Eric Wilson did not even know what was being constructed until the city electrical department head asked the workers what they were doing, and they discovered it was the pedestrian crosswalk they had approved 2 years ago. The DOT telling the reporter that this was their urgent action, quick action team that does projects in a hurry. Well, 2 years later, they're working on it. It'll be done in a few weeks. Cost is $50,000, may prevent any pedestrians from being hit on Lee Street. More details are in this week's reporter.
Hey Monroe County, if you're planning a wedding, a big event, a corporate Christmas party, we have the place for you. Our friends at Macon Tent Rentals, Jeff Holloway and his team are Monroe County residents, and they are the best. They are the top of the pack when it comes to tent rentals and preparing for the equipment for a big party. Tents, tables, chairs, lighting, dance floors, staging, pipe, drapes, cooling units, linen, cafe lights, just to name a few. You can even pick up items for rent at their location. Call now for a free quote, 478-746-8269.
A first for Monroe County, the 12U All-Star baseball team winning the state championship. That's right, it was on Sunday that the Bulldogs beat up on Newton County in extra innings, 19-16. Sounds like a football score. And then in Spalding in the championship, 11-10. That was the 3rd time the Monroe County team had beaten Spalding in the last 2 weeks. The Bulldogs winning sub-state the week before. This all-star team has never lost a game. The coach is not anyway. Coach Shannon, a volunteer rec coach for 17 years, told his boys, "This is my last season." He has a 1-year-old baby at home, won't have as much time to coach, and his players are coming through for him. He went undefeated in the regular season, undefeated in the sub-state, and now undefeated in the state championship. And that means the boys are going to New Orleans for the National World Series in July. Find out more details in this week's reporter.
Hey Monroe County, whether you need garage floors, basements, pool decks, or driveway patios, Concrete Coatings are the ones to call. Commercial or residential, they offer a 5-year warranty. Free estimates, call today. Concrete Coatings, serving all of Middle Georgia.
Hello, my name is Terry Johnson, and I write Monroe Outdoors for the Reporter. For the past several weeks, Monroe Countyans have been enjoying the wonderful signature fruit of Georgia, the peach. All the while we've been enjoying this juicy fruit, our wildlife neighbors have been eating small, plump, 1/3 inch pea-like fruits of the black cherry tree. While the black cherry tree is often considered to be a weed, it is actually one of the most valuable trees in the eastern forest. So if you are a wildlife enthusiast, in this week's paper, I'm going to tell you why it's so important to wildlife and why it may be one of the most valuable plants growing on your property. Read all about it in this week's Reporter.
Monroe County loves its firearms, and there's no better place to get your firearms and ammunition needs than Red Root Defense, a small family-owned business right here in the heart of Georgia near the Jones-Monroe County line. Check them out for a full selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories.
This is Part Davis with This Week's Sports. Mary Persons football offensive coordinator Jason Morrow will now also be the head basketball coach for Mary Persons. Morrow already knows players from football, and he's really excited to get back into coaching basketball. Across the country, former Mary Persons baseball player Eric Snow is excelling at the MLB Draft Combine in San Diego. The draft is July 17th, and Snow's stock seems to be rising. In other news, Monroe County's Austin Cox pitched his first Class AAA win for the Omaha Storm Chasers on June 16th. Cox threw 55 strikes in his win against the Iowa Cubs, and he's scheduled to start on the mound again on June 23rd. See more on page 2C.
Monroe County loves its firearms, and there's no better place to get your firearms and ammunition needs than Red Root Defense, a small family-owned business right here in the heart of Georgia near the Jones-Monroe County line. Check them out for a full selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories.
Hey Scout, have you heard about the cutest pet in Monroe County contest?
Yes. I wanna win.
Well, Scout, there's only one problem.
What's that? What's the problem?
You're owned by a member of the newspaper staff. That means you're ineligible.
What? But why? That's not fair. What does this mean? I can't either.
Sorry, muchacho. You are also owned by the reporter staff. You are ineligible.
Can I get a new owner? Please. Me too, por favor.
Scout and Muchacho can enter the contest, but your pet can. Go to myemcr.net and click on the photo contest. Help support the reporter, dedicating space to save a pet.